spots that I see population is playing differently, that equilibrium and maybe like not understanding ICM situations well enough is this. So open shoving too much from like short stacks being between like 12 to 17 big blinds. You need to keep in mind that when you have these kind of stacks, like open shoving should be like, especially when there is a lot of people to act behind. So it should be the last options that you consider, because you're going to be able to get way better decisions by just min raising or raising any size than just going all in. It's very easy to play against all in. There is not much they can. There is not many mistakes that they can do. So defending big blind too wide versus big stack. So this is going to be the same trend as we saw before at 17.5. So when there is big raise premium, when chip leader opens, we want to be responding by playing aggressive, like 3-betting non-all-in, rejamming instead of like calling and playing post-flop against the big stack. I mean, obviously, as you can see, there is still some hands that are very natural calls, but we need to think about expanding our 3-bet jamming range. So yeah, like this is the third rejamming 2-liter versus big stack. So same thing as before. Rejamming pocket. So this is one thing that I see also. Like this is, for example, spots where we're at the big blind, we have 20 big blinds, and then button opens from 20 big blind stack on final table, and we see pocket eights, and we're like, oh, 20 big blinds open from jam from button. Let's just jam eights, which doesn't really make sense, right? If you think about it, he's not even opening buttons. She's opening like a super polar range, which is going to be something similar to hijack or even low jack in some cases when there is more raise premium. So we need to think about what is his range exactly and what we are trying to accomplish. So if we have eights, for example, do we jam for value? Do we jam as a bluff? Like, is he gonna raise call fives? If the answer is no, so what's the point of jamming? So versus king, we want ace 3 off rather than 6-6. Exactly. This is also a good point, right? So when we have we want to have blockers, because like what we want to, so when we are basically 3-bet jamming is a bluff, we just want him to fold. So how we make most folds? Having an ace which blocks his calling range. This is the way, and also having a deuce or a 3 having unblocks his folds. So the biggest chance that he's gonna fold when we bluff rejam is when we hold this type of hands, ace deuce off, ace 3 off, because we have blocker and unblocker, right? And again, calling 3-bets too much. This is gonna be the same as we saw before. So like facing 3-bets on final tables, we're not going to be interested in doing much callings. Again, there's going to be exceptions, but we're going to look to play back by 4-betting instead of 4-betting either non-all-in or 4-bet jamming rather than calling. Let's look at some examples. So at open shoving too much. So this is going to be the first example. When so let's open this 17 big blinds, final table 6 max, average 17. So final table 6 max, average 17. But the stacks are like this, I believe. And we look at the hijack range. So we have someone with 9 blinds, and we're at hijack with 12. So you saw the range before, and the range we're going to play from hijack is pretty tight. And there's really not that much jamming, 2.7%, right? So this is, and now we can see RPs, right? So versus we have, depending against which player, but we have a pretty big risk premium, right? Because there is a guy with 9 big blinds that is likely to bust if we fold, and especially when the stacks are like this, they're going to be going all in against each other very often. So we want to play pretty tight range, and again, very oriented towards blockers, right? So we see opening ace 9 off, king 10 off, king jack off, but folding stuff like 7, even 8s are folding like more often than raising, right? So why is that? Because we don't, with 8s, we don't block any of their, so we have basically like 4 or 5 rejam ranges, right? So we don't block any of the rejam ranges, and we cannot really raise call. Like if you raise and they jam a range that has like 2 overcards a lot, we're just not going to be able to call, because we need to add this. So let's say like bottom jams. I mean, he can have a wide range, but let's say cut off jams, and he has some sort of range, and we need to add 12% risk premium to the pot odds that we are getting, and it's not going to be possible to call with 8s when we add that much risk premium. So this is why this range looks like this, and open shoving should be just with hands that are just we can think about it's just like too good to raise fold, yeah, like we cannot raise call with them. So like the ace queen type hands, ace king, king queen suited broadways are usually going to be candidates to do that, and then we're going to have some bluff like this. Yeah, and there's going to be similar spots to that where we just want to think. So even here, like when we are low jack with 12, so let's look at this similar, like low jack 12 big blinds, big blind has 9. Similar stack distribution. We want to be careful about open jams. So stuff like 7s, which is pure fold. We open just a few of the hands. Having this non-all-in raising strategy is just going to be much better than open shoving with 5 people behind.